a race against the clock, Northern California, where they are trying to repair this dam in hopes of heading off a potential catastrophe. A massive rainstorm might bring more trouble later this week. Meanwhile, you've got thousands of evacuated homeowners now in limbo. Claudia Cowan live in Oroville, California. And what's the status on fixing that emergency spillway that is of such concern, Claudia?
Bill, the work is happening around the clock, and you can see some of the big construction crews behind me moving around these boulders at the top of the dam. Now, these rocks are being bagged up and moved out to patch up the dam's emergency spillway. State water officials spent much of yesterday literally in the trenches of that spillway, guiding in a couple of Black Hawk helicopters as they dropped their heavy loads of rocks in a hole that broke open on Sunday and try to prevent further erosion to what is essentially a ravine that had never been used as an emergency spillway before. Meantime, California Governor Jerry Brown is breaking his silence on the crisis, admitting he didn't know about a warning years ago that the dam was vulnerable, creating the possibility of a major flood. He has asked the White House for federal assistance and had this message for the thousands of people waiting to go back home.
Just know that their government, their representatives are doing everything they can, and will continue to do whatever it takes to make sure we have a safe dam up there and in all the other places where we have these kind of potential threats.
Yeah. Nearly 190,000 evacuees are waiting it out at shelters set up at schools and local fairgrounds. Some may be allowed to go home to get necessities like medicine and clothing. That plan is still being worked out. Now, the county sheriff says there is no more imminent threat that emergency spillway will collapse, but until it is significantly shored up, Bill, that mandatory evacuation order will remain in effect.
Got it. And what is the status of the dam itself, Claudia?
Right, the tallest dam in the country, Bill. Well, the water level inside the reservoir is starting to drop now down to about 890 feet above sea level. That's well below the rim, but officials want to get it down another 50 feet at least to build up capacity. And the pictures of the main spillway that's being used are just dramatic. Officials have doubled the releases there on the main spillway, even though it is damaged too. And for the next few days, we can expect the lake level to keep dropping about 4 inches an hour. Now, you mentioned that next storm that's moving in tomorrow night, early Thursday morning. It's expected to be a colder system, which means the snow level will drop. There will be less rain and less runoff. But, Bill, the challenge here, of course, is to build up capacity not just for the rains due to arrive this week, but also in the weeks ahead, not to mention all of the snow runoff arriving this spring.
Wow.
Back
Thanks,
to you.
Claudia. Claudia Cowan watching all that for us today in Northern California.